Alcatraz Island is famous for its long-lost prison, shrouded in mist and mystery, stood as a silent guardian over San Francisco Bay. Its formidable walls and storied past made it a magnet for those seeking thrills, but beneath its surface lay secrets that time had almost forgotten. Among these was the Forgotten Tunnel, a labyrinthine passage rumored to lead to an undisclosed part of the island. Mia Torres, a young architect with a passion for historical structures, was captivated by the legends surrounding Alcatraz. Unlike typical urban explorers, Mia was driven by a professional curiosity to understand the architectural anomalies of the prison. Her research led her to the Forgotten Tunnel, a supposed escape route that never saw use and was erased from official maps. Determined to uncover the truth, Mia secured special access through a series of bureaucratic hoops, convincing the authorities that her exploration could yield valuable historical insights. On a chilly autumn evening, she arrived at the island, her heart pounding with anticipation and a touch of fear. Equipped with only a headlamp, a sturdy rope, and her detailed plans, Mia navigated the well-trodden paths of Alcatraz, avoiding the main tourist areas. As night enveloped the island, the oppressive silence became almost tangible, broken only by the distant calls of nocturnal birds and the occasional rustle of leaves. Mia reached the entrance of the Forgotten Tunnel going towards the prison, hidden behind a false wall in the maintenance shed. The air grew colder as she descended the narrow staircase, the flickering light of her headlamp casting long, eerie shadows on the damp stone walls. The tunnel twisted and turned unpredictably, each step echoing ominously in the confined space. Hours seemed to pass as Mia delved deeper, the tunnel's layout becoming increasingly disorienting. The oppressive darkness pressed in, making it difficult to distinguish reality from illusion. Strange phenomena began to manifest, unexplained drafts that seemed to carry faint whispers, cold spots that made her skin crawl, and the subtle sensation of being watched. As Mia pressed forward, she stumbled upon a hidden chamber adorned with intricate carvings and archaic symbols she had never seen before. The room was vast, its ceiling lost in darkness, and in the center stood an ancient stone pedestal. On it lay a weathered journal, its pages brittle and yellowed with age. Intrigued, Mia approached cautiously, her fingers trembling as she opened the book. The journal belonged to a former inmate named Samuel Graves, whose writings detailed his descent into madness after discovering forbidden knowledge within the prison's depths. Graves spoke of a hidden power that could bend reality, a force that the prison authorities desperately tried to contain. His final entries hinted at a ritual meant to seal away this malevolent energy, but something had gone terribly wrong. As Mia absorbed the harrowing accounts, the atmosphere in the chamber shifted dramatically. The temperature plummeted, and the walls seemed to close in around her. Shadows danced at the edges of her vision, elongating and twisting in unnatural ways. The whispers grew louder, forming incoherent phrases that echoed through the tunnel. Determined to understand, Mia began piecing together Graves' notes, realizing that the ritual had inadvertently unleashed a dark presence tied to the very structure of Alcatraz. This entity thrived on fear and despair, manipulating the environment to trap and torment those who dared to uncover its secrets. Suddenly, the ground beneath Mia's feet began to tremble, and the tunnel walls writhed as if alive. Panic surged through her as she desperately tried to retrace her steps, but the tunnel seemed to morph, leading her in endless circles. The oppressive force pressed down, making each breath a struggle, as if the island itself sought to consume her. In a final, desperate effort, Mia remembered a passage from Graves' journal that hinted at reversing the ritual by acknowledging the entity's existence and offering respect for its power. Summoning every ounce of courage, she spoke the words aloud, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. The shadows recoiled, and the oppressive atmosphere began to lift. The tunnel stabilized, and a path to the surface materialized before her. Exhausted but resolute, Mia emerged from the forgotten tunnel just as dawn broke over Alcatraz. The first rays of sunlight pierced the lingering mist, dispelling the night's terrors. Mia left the island with a newfound respect for its haunted legacy, her discovery shedding light on a forgotten chapter of Alcatraz's history. The forgotten tunnel remained sealed, its dark presence subdued but not entirely vanquished, a reminder of the thin veil between reality and the unknown. Alcatraz Prison gets a new guest. A phenomenon of the prison is that, among these silent echoes was a haunting presence known only as the Echo, a phenomenon that manifested without sight or sound, leaving those who encountered it feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Elena Martinez, a talented sound engineer, specialized in creating immersive audio experiences for virtual reality. When she learned about Alcatraz's eerie reputation, she saw an opportunity to develop a groundbreaking VR project that would capture the prison's unsettling ambiance. Securing the necessary permits, Elena arrived on the island with her advanced audio equipment, eager to capture the essence of Alcatraz's silence. Setting up her base in the library, Elena began her work by recording ambient sounds throughout the prison. The oppressive silence was punctuated by the occasional drip of water, the distant rumble of the bay, and the subtle creak of aging infrastructure. As she moved through the deserted halls, she meticulously documented every sound, intent on creating a realistic auditory landscape for her project. However, as night fell, Elena began to notice anomalies in her recordings. Strange, dissonant frequencies interspersed with the ambient sounds, creating an unsettling auditory tapestry that seemed to defy explanation. Determined to capture the full range of Alcatraz's sonic environment, she delved deeper into the prison, following the source of the eerie sounds. Venturing into the lesser-known sections of the library, Elena discovered a hidden alcove behind a row of forgotten books. The air grew colder as she approached, and her equipment began to malfunction. Recordings played back distorted noises, and her speakers emitted low-frequency hums that resonated through her bones. She felt an intangible presence, an unseen force that seemed to manipulate the very fabric of sound around her. Elena focused her efforts on isolating the mysterious frequencies, analyzing them with her expertise. She realized that the echo was not a physical entity, but a residual sonic imprint left by the collective suffering and despair of the prison's inmates. The intense emotions and unexpressed pain had created a unique acoustic phenomenon, where silence itself became a medium for their lingering presence. As she continued her exploration, Elena encountered areas where the silence was so profound it felt almost oppressive, as if the very air was weighted with unspoken anguish. Her recordings captured fleeting moments where the silence was interrupted by faint, dissonant echoes, ghostly remnants of voices that never found closure. These echoes were random and fleeting, never forming coherent patterns, heightening the sense of mystery and unease. Determined to understand the full scope of the echo, Elena decided to conduct a live recording session in the most secluded part of the library. Setting up her equipment, she sat in the center of the alcove, allowing the silence to envelop her. Minutes turned into hours as she monitored the recordings, capturing the subtle shifts in ambient sound. Suddenly, the temperature dropped sharply, and Elena felt a surge of energy emanating from the walls around her. The silence was interrupted by a series of sharp, jarring frequencies that resonated through her entire being. She realized that the echo was reacting to her presence, attempting to communicate through the very medium she sought to capture. In a moment of clarity, Elena understood that to quell the echo, she needed to honor the voices trapped within the silence. She began to speak softly, acknowledging the suffering and untold stories of the inmates who had once walked these halls. As she expressed her respect and empathy, the dissonant frequencies began to harmonize, the oppressive silence giving way to a more balanced auditory environment. The room seemed to breathe with a newfound calm, the unnerving frequencies fading into a serene silence that felt respectful rather than oppressive. Elena's recordings reflected the transformation, capturing a silence that now carried a sense of peace and resolution. She realized that the echo was not malevolent, but a silent plea for acknowledgement and remembrance. As dawn broke over Alcatraz, Elena packed up her equipment, the haunting presence of the echo now subdued and harmonious. Her VR project would not only capture the physical sounds of the prison, but also the silent echoes of its past, creating an immersive experience that honored the memories of those who had endured its confines. The echo of silence remained, a testament to the enduring impact of unresolved anguish and the power of acknowledgement in bringing peace to restless spirits. Elena left the island with a profound sense of accomplishment, knowing that her work would preserve the silent stories of Alcatraz for future generations. The prison continued to stand as a monument to the past, its silence now enriched with the echoes of remembrance and the enduring legacy of those who had once called it home. The infamous Alcatraz prison next becomes the center for Lucas Grant, encircled by icy waters and relentless waves, had long been a symbol of unyielding confinement. Its reputation for housing the most dangerous criminals was overshadowed by the eerie stillness that seemed to pervade the island. Among the lesser-known tales was that of the Silent Watcher, an unseen presence that guarded the prison's secrets with unspoken vigilance. Lucas Grant, a former military engineer, had always been intrigued by tales of Alcatraz's mysterious phenomena. Unlike typical thrill seekers, Lucas approached the island with a methodical mindset, intent on uncovering logical explanations for the unexplainable. Armed with advanced monitoring equipment and a keen analytical mind, he secured a temporary permit to conduct a series of overnight observations. Arriving on a fog-laden evening, Lucas set up his base in a secluded section of the prison, away from the main tourist areas. The oppressive silence of Alcatraz was palpable, broken only by the distant creak of metal and the soft lapping of water against the shore. As midnight approached, Lucas activated his array of sensors, hoping to detect any anomalies that could explain the reported supernatural activities. Hours passed uneventfully until Lucas began noticing subtle changes in his equipment readings. Temperature fluctuations, electromagnetic disturbances, and inexplicable power surges hinted at something beyond natural causes. Intrigued, he decided to investigate the source of these anomalies, following the trail of interference deeper into the heart of the prison. Navigating through the labyrinthine corridors, Lucas stumbled upon an old ventilation shaft that led to an uncharted basement level. The air grew colder as he descended, the walls damp and covered in mold. His footsteps echoed ominously, the only sound in the vast, empty space. As he reached the bottom, Lucas felt a presence, an invisible force that seemed to observe his every move. In the center of the basement stood a large, archaic mirror, its surface tarnished and cracked. Lucas approached cautiously, his reflection distorted and fragmented. As he examined the mirror, his monitoring equipment detected intense electromagnetic activity emanating from it. He hypothesized that the mirror was acting as a conduit, amplifying latent energy within the prison. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and the air thickened with an unseen pressure. Lucas's breath became labored as the Silent Watcher's presence intensified, though it remained invisible and unheard. The equipment around him went haywire, sensors spiking uncontrollably. He realized that the entity was a residual energy tied to the prison's oppressive history, a guardian left behind by those who sought to contain the darkness within. Determined to understand, Lucas began analyzing the mirror's properties, discovering that it was part of a containment mechanism devised by the prison's original architects. The mirror had been enchanted with a blend of early 20th century occult practices and rudimentary technology to create a barrier against the malevolent forces that threatened to escape. Over time, the mirror's power waned, but the silent watcher remained bound to its post, maintaining the delicate balance between the physical and the supernatural. As Lucas delved deeper, he encountered a series of old blueprints and journals left by the prison's designers, revealing the intricate plans for the mirror's construction and the rituals required to sustain its power. He realized that without proper maintenance, the containment would fail, unleashing the dark forces once again. The silent watcher, now weakened, was struggling to uphold its duty, its presence growing more erratic and unstable. In a climactic moment, Lucas decided to reinforce the mirror's enchantment, using the knowledge gleaned from the old documents. He meticulously followed the instructions, integrating modern technology with the archaic rituals described. As he completed the final step, the basement was engulfed in a brilliant light, the oppressive pressure lifting as the mirror stabilized. The silent watcher's presence diminished, its role as the guardian restored. The temperature normalized and the electromagnetic disturbances ceased, leaving the basement eerily calm. Lucas realized that the silent watcher was not malevolent, but rather a protector, ensuring that the dark secrets of Alcatraz remained confined within its walls. Exhausted but satisfied, Lucas documented his findings, ensuring that the knowledge of the mirror and the silent watcher's true nature would be preserved. As dawn broke over Alcatraz, he left the prison with a profound respect for its hidden guardians and the intricate balance that kept its darkest elements at bay. The silent watcher continued its silent vigil, a testament to the enduring legacy of Alcatraz's mysterious defenses.